How are you doing? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world options trading course. And we're not going to really talk about options today. We're going to do one of the laws of game series. And what I want to talk about is why you failed in business even after you bought all the courses. And many of you went out, you bought all the, how to make money online courses. You bought how to do this and make money courses. Some of you even went to the retreats where you sit inside the house and you quote unquote have a mastermind, but it really is a networking event, really not a mastermind. Some of you have even gone to the actual masterminds that really are masterminds because you paid your way in, and you still not having the business success. And what we want to try to do is kind of talk about what is really not being taught in these particular spaces. And there's a reason why this is not being taught, and we're not going to necessarily get into that, but we're going to talk about what is not being taught and then some of the solutions to your problems. So when you get done listening to this audio, you have a takeaway plan, right? You have actual action steps. They're going to allow you to figure out how to actually go make money in your business. So we're not going to just talk about the problem. We're going to offer some solutions. So at the end of this video, if you listen all the way through it, you're going to get action steps that are going to allow you to understand how to start making money in your business, right? And I probably should charge for this, but I had a really good week in the markets. I had a really good week in business. So because I was so blessed, I'm going to go ahead and just pass the blessing on to somebody else because somebody blessed me, which is why they did business with me. I was blessed because I was able to successfully navigate the markets this week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass that blessing on to somebody else. And then when you get blessed, you can pass that blessing on to somebody else. And then we can create synergy and just making sure that the next person you come in contact with is also going to be blessed. So let's go ahead and get into it. The question I want to ask you is that, do you really understand what moves the needle in your business? So you are in business. What moves the needle? When I say what moves the needle, my question is what drives sales for your business? And many people have never really asked themselves this question or been asked this question. What really drives or moves the needle in your business? What drives the sales? And what a lot of people spend a lot of time doing is they spend a lot of time trying to imitate what moves the needle for somebody else. So they see somebody else successful in business and their attitude is, well, because they're successful in business, I'm going to do it. And I understand why people do that because I understand human psychology. We, at the end of the day, are animals that we're group based. So millions of years ago, when we was in Africa and we were living in groups, if other people gave us a signal that we need to do something, a lot of times we did it because that's how we stay safe. So if one person started running, we all started running. If one person ran up in a tree, we all ran up in a tree. Why? Because we understood is that these contextual clues from our environment are going to help us stay alive. This got hardwired into our DNA. So even now, many of us, if a group of people are doing something or we see other people in our environment doing something, we think that's the thing to do. So if this person is doing something and it's making money for them in business, we automatically assume that that means that's going to be successful for us. What we got to understand is that we're not living in small groups of 10 to 15 in Africa like we were millions of years ago. There's millions of people in the world, and many of you are really not part of a group. You're really living as an individual, but you're still taking a lot of these cues based on group behavior that kept you alive in Africa millions of years ago, but won't necessarily work for you today. So many of you are imitating what somebody else is doing, and that's how they were able to have success. And that's not necessarily going to work for you because you got to try to figure out what works for your specific situation. So have you ever asked yourself, what moves the needle for you in your business? What actually drives the sales for you in your business? Have you ever sat down and figured that out? Or are you just imitating what you think is going to work because it worked for somebody else? Now, let me get you an understanding of what I'm trying to talk about from an overall perspective. So I was talking to a guy about the courses that I'm dropping, and he kind of talked to me about wanting some help on his courses because he said he had a lot of ideas about creating a course, but he wasn't able to put all those ideas together and create something concrete and then go ahead and roll the course out. So I said, cool, this is what I could do for you. I could consult with you on the front end and I can help you create your structure of how the course needs to be structured. Or I could get with you during the course creation and I can actually help you put the course together from a module by module standpoint. Right. So I'm going to give you, I got two offers for you. The result of is one, you can get a clear, concise plan of how the course needs to be put together if you take offer one. If you take offer two, you can have somebody working with you on having to put the course together so you're not having to try to figure it out all by yourself because you spoke about how the fact that you got a lot of ideas, but you have a hard time putting it together into something concrete. He came back at me with, well, do you want to partner? I said, no, I don't have a desire to partner because I already got what I have going on. And what I don't want to do is put myself in a position to where I'm working with you on a course and then the course doesn't come out and I don't get paid, or I'm working with you on a course and I can't get paid until the course comes out. So I don't get paid into the back end. The reason why I don't want to do that is because I've done that before with people. So years ago, I helped somebody do a lot of stuff and then they never followed through. And then I just got left holding the bag. So I don't do that anymore. So I need to get my money up front. I need to get paid for what I'm contributing to the project. I don't want any equity in the course. I don't want any royalties. I'm going to work on the course to get my money. And then you do what you want to do with it once the course is done. Well, his attitude was, well, do you have a website? I said, well, no, I don't have a website. I sent them to my LinkedIn. Now, my LinkedIn has testimonials of people that I've worked with before that speak to my ability to function in business, what I was able to do to them and the results that they got. So I sent them to my LinkedIn because my attitude is I'm going to send it to my professional, right, social media page. He came back and said, well, no, I'm asking for a website. I said, bro, I don't have a website because websites don't make me any money. Websites don't make me any money, so I don't have a website. I got the LinkedIn there. I have the testimonials on there. The people that gave you the testimonials on LinkedIn, they have actually businesses that they represent. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn and speak to how I function for them in that particular role and whether that they were satisfied and whether or not they will refer me right as somebody that you should want to work with. And I told him that. And what's interesting to me on one end is that when he thought I was willing to do the work for free, he didn't need to see anything. When I wanted to do the partnership, he didn't need to see anything. Once I attached a price point to what I was doing, all of a sudden now he needed to do all this background work on me to make sure that I was the right person for the job. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? But I wanted to explain to him is that the reason why I don't have a website, and I have a URL, but that URL is down because I didn't renew it because one, the website did not make me any money. So my attitude is I don't need online real estate that I'm paying monthly for and then I'm paying a yearly URL subscription because it didn't make any money for me. I didn't get clients off that website. I didn't. So it didn't do any good. So I can take that money that I was paying and put that money into another area of my business or either just, put the money right back into my pocket. What I understood with him, and it's because I'm a little bit of seasoned in business and I kind of understand how this works, is that you can spend a lot of time in business trying to make somebody happy that's not going to spend any money in your business. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Many of you are worrying about things in business for people that are not going to spend any money. So in that scenario, he didn't care about any of my credentials, any of my background, if he thought I was going to work for free in this partnership. As soon as I put a price tag on what I brought to the table, now he needed to know everything about my background, who I work with, the website, yada, yada, yada. Now, let me explain something to you because I've been through these type of scenarios before. It don't matter what I bring to that guy. It's not going to ever be enough because he's not my ideal customer. And what you'll find with a lot of people is that they'll ask you for these things. So they'll be like, hey, I want to do business with you. Do you have 1, 2, 3? You'll give them 1, 2, 3. You'll follow up with them and say, hey, well, do you have any questions about what you looked at? No, I don't have no questions. You got to understand is that none of that stuff was important to them. They just wanted to waste your time. Right? They wanted to waste your time because the question you want to ask yourself is this. People buy from companies all the time and they never go to a website. People spend big ticket money with companies all the time. They never look for a website. They never ask who the CEO of the company is. They never look for these people's social media. So people spend big money with companies all the time and they never look for any of that stuff. Why? Because it's not important to them. When somebody is looking to waste your time, a lot of times they start asking for all this background stuff because they're just looking to waste your time. They don't care about any of that stuff. When somebody thinks somebody can solve their problem, they're looking to get their problem solved. They're not looking for all this other stuff. When somebody people have surgery and never find out where the doctor went to school at. They have surgery, never find it out. So you go into the ER because you got a issue and they say, yo, man, you got to have an appendicitis. Your appendix getting ready to burst. We're going to rush you into surgery. You never say, hey, I need to see where the doctor went to school at. What's his educational background? You are in a severe issue. You in a lot of pain. You in a lot of discomfort, and you want a solution to your problem. So you never ask for any of that stuff. So a lot of times when people are asking you for all these things, you know what it really means? Is they're not your ideal customer. What you're bringing to the table isn't solving a really big problem for them. That's why they're wasting your time with this stuff. And that's really what you got to understand. And you can waste a lot of time trying to get them what they say they need. But see, this is a game I play with people when they do that. I say, if I supply all this to you, are you going to be ready to buy? And they're not ready for that. So if you say you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I give it to you, are you going to be ready to make a purchase? Because I'm giving you what you say you need. So when I give that to you, I'm going to go and I'm going to do all this legwork to give you all these credentials. And when I give this to you, are you going to be ready to make a purchase? And many of them, they don't know what to say because they think that you're going to get engaged in this time wasting activity with them. Because you got to understand, many of you are trying to make somebody happy that's not going to spend any money in your business. And because you're trying to make somebody that's happy that's not going to spend any money in your business is why you get caught up in the things that we're getting ready to talk about right now. These are some of the things that you're worried about. First is the website. So the question is why does your ideal customer care about a website? Not why do you care about a website? Why does your ideal customer care about a website? What is a website going to do to them? How does having a website move your ideal customer closer to buying from you? That's the question you want to ask yourself. So you don't need a website just to have a website. You need a website as a function of driving sales into your business. So the question is, why does having a website, how does it move your ideal customer closer to doing business with you? Because you shouldn't have a website just to say you got a website. Because if it's not driving sales or doing specific things in your business, why do you have one? Next thing, self-branded emails. I used to be in these business groups on Facebook, a lot of the BOB groups, and people come in there. Well, you got to have a email that's branded to your business because, I reach out to people and they give me these Gmails and, it just doesn't seem professional. Let me explain something to you. I can go to Google and tell Google, I want an email based around this domain name. Pay Google $7 or $5 or $8. I don't know what it costs now. I get it billed to me monthly. I don't even look at the cost. I think it's under $10 a month. And what Gmail will do is allow me to buy an email that'll say diamonddave@diamonddave.com. Right? So it'd be like a self-branded, seem like a self-hosted email to my URL. Right? But you know what? It's still a Gmail. So the front end of it it's still a Gmail though. And it still functions like a Gmail. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? The question you want to ask yourself is this. If you get the email branded to your website, so let's say your website is businessabc.com, and then you get your name at businessabc.com, how does that make your ideal customer want to do business with you? Does your ideal customer even care about that? Because I don't care. When I reach out to somebody, I don't care what kind of email they got. Because I know pretty much it's going to be a Gmail anyway, because Gmail is the biggest email provider. They got the most reliable email system. So I don't care about it being branded to their business. I don't care about any of that. I'm more worried about delivery than anything else. So I don't care about any of that. And for years, a lot of these emails that were self-hosted with your internet provider, because their specialty was not email, the delivery was terrible. It was hard to get in there and find your email because you had to do all kinds of crazy logging in, because you had to actually log into your URL account to even check your emails. It's terrible. And email delivery and email functionality was not what they specialized in, so the emails was terrible. So it just made more sense to go to Gmail anyway. So if it's really that important to you, you can go to Gmail and you can buy an email that looks like it's an extension of your URL. But the question is that important to your customer? So these people telling you that it don't look professional. The question is that person going to do business with you? And the people that you're trying to impress with this email, are they going to do business with you? Because if they're not going to do business with you, who cares? Right? It's $1 million deals going down inside Gmail, right? Now, I understand some people, as a function of their business, I know a guy that does taxes. He got his email set up through a particular provider where all the information is encoded and things of that nature because it's very sensitive information. That's a function of his business, and that's important to his clients. So he can't send your tax information through a regular Gmail. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? But that's specific to the type of business that he does. You don't need that if you're not involved in that type of business. So the question is, what is important to the people that are going to do business with you? Third thing, how your business card looks. A lot of y'all are worried about the look of a business card. Why does it matter? The people that you're trying to do business with, do they care about how your business card looks, or do they care about the information on the card, so if they got to get back to you, they can get back to you? So a lot of y'all is trying to get the glossy and all these really crazy looking business card designs. For the people that are going to do business with your business, do they care about how the business card looks? If they don't, why do you care? Why are you caught up in spending a month trying to figure out the right kind of business card, and you're going to be giving this out to people who don't care how it looks anyway? So this is what you care about, but they don't care about it. Okay? Fourth thing, your logo. Do the people you doing business with, do they care about your logo? Do they care? Not do you care, or does somebody in a group that's trying to sell you a logo cares? The people that you're trying to do business with, do they care about your logo? How does having that logo drive money into your company? If it does, it's something for you to worry about. If it doesn't, why are you worried about it? Especially early on in business, why is this a big deal to you? So the question again, for your logo, do the people that you're going to do business with, do they care about how your logo looks? I do business with people all the time. The last thing I think about is their logo. Last thing I think about. Care less about their logo. I'm more worried about my business than worried about their logo. Right? But if the people that you care, that you're trying to do business with, if they care about your logo, then logo is important. If not, then why is it so important? Many aspects of social media. Do the people that you're trying to do business with, do they care about these aspects of social media? Let me go into it. Many of you have taken from these gurus, we're not going to say who they are, about how you need to be everywhere on social media. Guys are telling you, you need to just be everywhere. You need to put up all this content. Same question. Do the people you're trying to do business with, are they everywhere on social media? Do they care about half of the social media that you put out? A lot of people are going to find out that their customers are on LinkedIn. Their customers are not on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. They're not there, or they're not there looking to do the kind of business that they're trying to do on LinkedIn. So what they're going to find out is that what I really need to do is work on my LinkedIn game and leave the rest of this stuff alone. So why am I trying to be in all these different places? My ideal customer is not in these particular places looking to do business, but they are receptive to a business conversation on LinkedIn. But a lot of these guys are teaching, well, you just got to try to be everywhere. And every new social media platforms that jumps up, they tell you got to try to be there. So instead of you doing the things that are going to drive revenue into your business, what you're trying to do is be everywhere on social media. And every new social media platform that pops up, you're trying to be there too. Question again, is that important to the people that are going to do business with you? Is that important to the people that are going to do business with you? Not important to these quote unquote gurus, right? Who really, to me, are trying to get you to make yourself non-competitive, right, by being in every place. Because a lot of these guys, these gurus, they have teams that disseminate their social media content. So they're not doing it themselves. But they're going to get you caught up in trying to be everywhere on social media. So then the question is, when do you do business? Because you spend your whole day trying to canvas all social media platforms. They got teams doing that. You doing this all by yourself. Sixth thing is email. Is email very valuable? Yes. Is it very important? Yes. I was an email marketer for years. But the question I want to ask you again is doing email important to your customers? Now, some people are going to say email is dead. They've been saying that for a decade. So then the question is email important to your customers? To the people that you're trying to do business with, is contacting them through email follow-up, email relationship is important to them. because a lot of people buy in this economy and they don't do any email. So this is the questions you got to ask yourself. So once again, I want to reiterate to you, when you're doing business, what is important to the people that are willing to do business with you? And why are you consumed with all these things that are not important to the people that want to do business with you? Because a lot of times you bought these courses from these quote unquote gurus and they make you think you got to do all this kind of rollout for these different things. And the problem is, bro, the people you trying to do business with, sis, the people you trying to do business with, they don't care about any of that stuff. Like I said again, when you go into the ER, because you got a big stomach pain, they give you a CT, say, hey man, your appendicitis getting ready to burst. We getting ready to roll you into the surgery room. We got to prep you for surgery. What you don't do is say, hey, where's your website? You don't say, hey, do you got a self-branded email? You don't say, hey, what's your business card look like, doctor? You don't say, hey, what does the logo of this hospital look like? You don't say, hey, where you at on social media? You don't say, hey, do you have an email? Let me see what your email follow-up look like. You don't ask any of those questions. Why? Because you're looking for a solution to your problem. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So I want you to really understand that from a business standpoint, is that many of you are being distracted by things that are not going to solve the problem of your ideal customer. And you're spending a lot of time running around doing things for people that ain't never going to spend no money in your business. That's who you're trying to make happy. Somebody ain't going to spend no money with you anyway. Because I said before, these people that ask you for all this stuff, tell them, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to comply to your request. Once I do it, are you going to be ready to spend money with me? And a lot of them they're going to go into an excuse pattern. Why? Because that's not important to them. They just here to waste your time. A lot of people reach out to you on social media, man, they bored at work. They bored at work reaching out to you on social media. And they want to just see will you entertain them for the next 5 to 10 minutes. They're going to go to somebody else. They're not serious about nothing. You got to understand that. Social media makes it very easy for people to contact us. So a lot of people bored on their job and they're going to reach out to you on social media and they know that you're selling something and they're going to low key act like they're interested in buying it, but they're really not interested. Right? You got to understand that. So now let's go into the solutions to this particular issue because we talked about the problem. One of the biggest, most important things you can do when you start your business, right, is you have to do something that I call validating your offer. Many people have what they call business ideas. This is part of the miseducation of the online guru business education platforms. You have business ideas. Ideas don't mean anything. They mean nothing. Right? They don't mean anything. People think the game is about ideas. Don't mean anything. I was talking to a woman one time and I asked her to give me some feedback on my particular options training. And she was like, well, you know, I have some ideas, but I don't want to give my ideas up. And I didn't want to tell her that because I didn't really know her like that to really correct her. But, you know, ideas are not that important. Like, they're really not. I tell people, I speak to software engineers all the time on what I think can be done to solve problems that traders have from a software standpoint. I just tell them why. Because half of them ain't going to build it anyway. They're not going to build. They don't want to do the development hours. So it don't matter that I tell them what I'm thinking about. Who cares? Because you still got to want to do the development hours, right? To even build the software out. So I talk to software engineers all the time. I don't care about you telling me your idea because you got to go execute on it. So ideas are really not that important, right? Execution of the idea is important. What you want to do is validate your offer. How can you get people to buy what you're offering? How do you do that? So you have an offer, not an idea. You have an offer. How do you get somebody to buy it? What do you got to do? Are you doing it through social? You doing it through Facebook? You doing it through Instagram? You doing it through YouTube? Are you doing it person to person? How are you getting somebody to buy it from you? How are you doing that? That's the most important thing. You don't need to say, hey, I got an idea. Let me go get a website. No. Figure out how you're going to sell it to somebody. Right? What is the fastest way for you to sell it to somebody? Now, how do you do that? You really got to know your customer. You got to know who your ideal customer is. Who has this problem that needs to be solved, and they're going to believe that you can solve it with what you're offering. That's what you need to figure out. Who's your ideal customer? Many of you have spent no time thinking about your ideal customer. You're somebody else's ideal customer for the website, for the business card, for the logo, for the Instagram marketing course, for the how to be an online guru, for the branding package. You're somebody else's ideal customer. But the question is, you haven't spent any time thinking about your ideal customer and what problem do they have that you're going to solve. And that's what you really need to figure out. You need to go out here and validate your offer. You need to find out really, really fast whether or not you got anything or you don't have anything. And you need to get that feedback from the market, and then you need to figure out what your next step is going to be. You don't need to go roll out all these other accessories that don't do anything to move the needle in your business because you're trying to make a bunch of people happy that's not going to spend no money in your business anyway. Right? I say stuff on people's social media all the time. I see why they ignore me. Why? Because I ain't gonna do no business with them folks anyway. They'll never get $1 out of me for nothing. I ain't gonna spend no money with these folks because I know they capping. So it don't matter what I say to them. So you really got to understand that. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to focus on these 3 things in business. First thing, drive sales. How can you drive sales in your business? Because without driving sales, you don't have a business. So how can you drive sales? Next thing you need to worry about is how can you build relationships with your current customers? So you got current customers. How can you build a stronger relationship with them? Because those customers are going to be buying things from you long term. So that's how you're going to extend the lifetime value of your customers, is how can you build a stronger relationship with your current customers? Many people are just always looking to bring in new customers because they don't know how to extend a relationship with their current customers. And you don't understand is that when somebody's already a customer of you, it's less expensive to get them to buy something from you a second time than it is to go find a new customer. But many people are running this slash and burn business model where they just bring people in, right? And they don't realize that eventually you're going to hit diminishing returns is because the size of the market is only so big. Now everybody talks about, we got this total addressable market of this many people. But you got to understand something. It's always easier to resell to somebody that's already a current customer of you than to go try to find you a whole brand new customer, right? Last thing is, how do you prospect for new customers? So you need to be driving sales. You need to be building relationships with current customers, and you need to be feeding your funnel with prospecting for new customers, right? And that's what you need to be focused on. Now, when you're focusing on these three things, what you're doing with email, what you're doing with websites, what you're doing with logo, what you're doing with social media, what you're doing with your branding package, it needs to be feeding into these 3 things. So how does the website drive sales? How does the website build relationships with current customers? How does the website help me prospect for new customers? If it doesn't do one of those 3 things, why do you have it? How does the logo drive sales? How does the logo build relationships with current customers? How does the logo help me prospect for new customers? If it doesn't do one of those 3 things, why do you have it? How does the social media drive sales? How does the social media help you build relationships with current customers? How does the social media prospect for new customers? If it doesn't help you do that, why are you on social media? How does the branding package drive sales? How does the branding package build relationships with current customers? How does the branding package help you prospect for new customers? If it doesn't do that, why are you buying the branding package? And you need to ask yourself, how does your activity feed into the 3? Because once you get these 3 down, this is going to be the foundation of your business, and then you're going to be able to build off of this. But if you don't have no business, if you're not driving sales, you don't have a business. You got a lot of expenses, but you ain't got no revenue coming in, right? You're not going to have a business long if you're not building relationships with your current customers, because the cost per acquisition, if it starts to go sky high, you're going to hit diminishing returns because it's going to cost you more to get a customer than the money you're going to get out of them on the back end. If you're not prospecting for new customers, you're going to run out of money because you're not going to be driving revenue in, because you're not going to be prospecting. You're going to get content with the current customers you have, right? They're eventually going to leave you because all customers are going to leave you eventually. And then now, because you're not currently prospecting, you don't have any more revenue coming into your business. So these 3 things are the foundation of your business. Once you get these down, then you start building out these other aspects of your business. But you need this because this is really going to be the fuel or the engine of your business. This is what these gurus are not teaching you when they're trying to teach you how I got I did $1 million on Instagram. And you haven't even validated your offer. Why? You don't need to be worrying about Instagram. You need to be worrying about validating your offer. Stick to the fundamentals. My secret video strategy of how I was able to post videos on Instagram and how we did none of that stuff. You haven't even validated your offer yet. Why are you worrying about an Instagram strategy? Worry about validating your offer. Can you even sell this to somebody? Right? A lot of y'all are worried about accessories. You're not worried about the fundamentals. Worry about the fundamentals. Then build off of a fundamental platform. Because if things go wrong, you can always fall back to your fundamentals. If you don't have any fundamentals and something goes wrong, you have nothing to fall back to. So this is the reason why a lot of you have bought all these courses from these people and you still haven't had any success in business, because you're worried about ancillary stuff as opposed to fundamental stuff. Hope this was valuable to you. If you know anybody that can be valuable to, share it out. This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. Like, subscribe, reach out to me. Talk to you later.